Trump slams McConnell for blocking the vote on a $2,000 stimulus check. That's right. For those of y'all that haven't heard, Trump finally said the people need help and wanted $2,000 checks given out to us instead of $600 a piece. Then he realized that he doesn't have balls and reneged on the very thing that he had just asked for. Then the people of Congress said, "Now we won't put pressure on the Republicans to side with Trump's original take and not put it up to a vote." It passed one of the two departments, I believe, the House.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the terms. I'm trying, Shalewa.
Yeah, I know. It's very impressive.
You know,
it
is. This is all off the dome so far. I ain't even read the article yet.
I know. That's why I'm impressed. I'm like, oh, wow, he's really summing up the news for us.
Oh, yeah, I'm out here reading in these streets about stuff that I wait. None of this is on allhiphop.com. I promise you. Finally, it got to the Senate where the majority leader, Mitch McConnell, has blocked the vote. And this is pretty trippy. The biggest issue so far that we're dealing with, besides the fact that it puts the $2,000 payments, which admittedly didn't have a large chance of happening in most people's opinions, it puts that at risk, but it also delays the original $600 payments that seemed like a pretty solid thing that was going out so far. That's where we at right here. But my main reason for sharing this is because I really enjoyed like reading the article because I have no idea what Trump wants, and it seems like nobody else does either. Like it was
Trump just wants to make he wants chaos. So that's basically what he wants. So he wants to throw a stick in the spokes of whatever is happening because he wasn't elected. So he's now mad at Republicans who are slowly but surely acknowledging that Joe Budden is going to be is going to be the new president. So now he's just fucking up their plans. So at first when he was like, when they passed a $600 bill and he was just like, nah, everyone should get $2,000. It looked like, oh yeah, okay, maybe he wants that to happen. So it looks like he gave us
something
money, on his way out.
Yeah.
But that's not it. It's because he knew that Mitch McConnell and the rest of them would not do that. And people need it, and people are going to be mad at Mitch McConnell for doing exactly what he did, which was blocking the vote of it. And he just wants people to be pissed off at Mitch McConnell because, Mitch McConnell didn't fight for him harder for the election that he rightfully lost.
I like it. That's right. For the first time in 4 years, Trump is finally playing checkers and chess. You know what I mean?
He's not playing. He's still playing Connect 4 because it all just goes back to him being a little kid and just being like, oh, yeah, well. And I mean, who knows if it's that plotted out in his brain, or if it really is just like, I wanted to give him $2,000 so that people would still love me, or whatever it was. Or if he's just like, everything that people said they wanted to do, he's going to say no and just fuck it up for everybody. Because that's all he's doing is he's treating everything like it's the season finale of whatever reality show he seems to think he's on. So, he could have signed that, the bills earlier,
right.
But instead he went on vacation and then set up a little table at the very last minute in case he wanted to sign the bill. So he didn't even want to let anyone know if he was going to sign the bill or not, but he was just going to set up a picture in case he needed to take set up like, a whole thing. And it's just like, bruh, this is not a season finale
at all.
I mean, it does feel like the series finale of America, but I think we're going to come back. I think there'll be a reboot, but like, yeah. So it's just ridiculous. And it's also a way, most importantly, I think this is really all that matters. It's a way that the news is talking about Trump again.
Yeah, I think he wants
and
to
that's
be,
really,
yeah,
that's really all that matters. Oh, sorry about that. The cat is knocking everything over.
It's all good. Welcome to the show. You know what I mean? Our first guest on the War Report
is my cat.
My biggest beef,
yeah.
real talk, is that look, I don't need the check. I want the check, and I want the people to get the check because they need the check. But admittedly, while I don't need the check, I have already like mentally spent the check. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a flat screen for Gabby. It's gonna be great. Like in my head, I already know where that's going, and he's delaying me from doing that.
Sure, yeah, he's fucking up your dreams.
Yeah, like that's a trip right there. I could have met up with Lil Pump for a lot of
nope, you were not. Not at all.
It's killing my dreams, Trump. Come on, man. Let's get on it. Stimulus checks. Speaking of, when are they coming? President Trump signed the $2.3 trillion spending bill on Sunday, despite his own late objections that funds the government and includes a $900 billion in stimulus provisions for struggling households and businesses. The measure comes amid sky-high COVID-19 cases and deaths. But the main question everybody's want to know, when will I get my check? That's what people want to know. The Treasury Secretary, Stephen T. Mnuchin. Mnuchin?
Yeah, Mnuchin. Not like minutia. Mnuchin.
M is silent, even though it's the biggest. It's the only capital letter. Got you.
Yeah,
Stephen T. No M. Mnuchin. So Mnuchin. So CNBC on December 21st that people would start seeing checks early this week if Trump had signed it, but at the time, that was the expectation. Unfortunately, as you noted earlier, Trump delayed the signing, so we are waiting. So yeah, all that's to say, they don't know, and that's what they want me to tell y'all.
They don't know, and that was also his attempt at making Stephen Mnuchin look bad too, because that was one of his boys. That guy's evil as well, and it's just he's turning on all the people who have all the other evil people. It's just all the evil people turning on each other, and all that happens is the people who need it, the American folks, we're not getting our shit that we need. I mean, honestly, they should have been cutting us checks this whole time.
Seriously.
Everybody should have been getting a monthly stipend in order to stay home and nip this shit in the bud. But you know me, I ain't one to be socialist, so you ain't hear that from me. But that's what should have been happening.
Everybody should have got a monthly check. You know what I mean? If you had a mortgage, it should have been on pause.
Right. All of that shit. All of it could have been paused because we're all built on a house of cards anyway. None of this is real. like if there's anything that this disease has taught us is that none of this is real. If we really wanted to do something, we could do it. You know what I mean?
Word.
But there's so much red tape and people fighting over. But I mean, like if we truly cared about each other and the country as a whole, we would get a lot of shit done. But I ain't one to preachify, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, I guess. But it is bullshit. It is bullshit. And I mean, COVID is like the kitchen light that turns on, and America's just like a bunch of roaches scattering everywhere. And it's not good. It's not a good look.
Oh, man. That's right, y'all. You heard it here first, Shalewa. Turn the light on all these roaches.
Yeah, please don't ask me to your political podcast, because truly, this is the discourse you're going to get, and I don't know. I don't know if this is what you want, but this is what you'll get.
100% invited to all the political podcasts. I want all that drama. I want all of those crazy emails in our mailbox. The War Report Podcast at gmail.com. Send us all the crazy complaints you have about our takes. I want all of that.
Yeah, do that.
Panthers, Russell Okung becomes the first NFL player to be paid in Bitcoin. That's right, y'all. He tweeted that out in 2019. He wanted to be paid in Bitcoin some 20 months later, and 273% price increase after he first tweeted that demand. So he would have came up if they'd have listened to him. In May 2019, Okung will be the first player in any major U.S. sports league to be paid in Bitcoin. The arrangement was made in part because of Zap, company that's helping him out, and it's going to convert. It's going to be a 50-50 split starting the season. So he currently receives $13 million in yearly salary, and it will be split 50-50 between fiat money and Bitcoin. He is not the first person to do that. Other pro athletes, a few members of the Brooklyn Nets, Yankees have also become members of the program, although not a full 50-50 split. And most famously, Spencer Dinwiddie of the Brooklyn Nets fought the NBA Players Association, but failed to have his entire contract be paid in Bitcoin. So yeah, fiat money coming down, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I hope that he's able to. I hope that Bitcoin stays good to him and doesn't have the kind of drop off it did before. I don't know much. I don't know nothing about no Bitcoin, but I know that there was a serious drop off, but it has now skyrocketed again more than it was before.
I'm crypto all day. Basically, anytime that like somebody on the corner wants to talk to me for like 3 hours, I'm in, and nothing has sparked more 3-hour bodega conversations than cryptocurrency since 2017.
That totally makes sense.
So I am fully bought in. Let's do this investment. Russell Okung, you will be a billionaire sometime soon. I applaud your investment and your gamble here. Putting your money where your mouth is. You believe in it. You put the bread there. Good luck to you, young man. I like it. Young Thug says he has more stadium hits than Jay-Z.
Okay.
Talking that smack. I like it. Young Thug is facing backlash for claiming he has more stadium hits than Hove. Speaking with Gilla the Kid's $1 million worth of game podcast. The Ticket to Trial rapper. Don't even know that song, so it's a bad start for you, Young Thug. Rapper boasted about his catalog, claiming he has 30 to 40 songs that concert goers would recognize if he performed them live. When I perform, I go 30 to 40 songs that whole stadium gonna know. They gonna know these ones, all 30 songs. That's a quote. He then boldly declared that his catalog would rival Jay-Z's. Jay-Z ain't got 30 songs like that the whole stadium gonna say. Jay-Z got like 30 albums at this point.
Thank you.
Like this is bad math. Like
this is horrible. And this is on the heels of him. Look, Young Thug seems to have a podcast problem. Like, I don't think he knows that other people can hear him talking. So I think he thinks he's just at the barbershop or some shit, and he's just talking his shit, and he doesn't realize that it will be broadcast to the general public if anyone wants to look for it. So he just was on T.I.'s podcast, Expeditiously, which is the name of the podcast. So there's that. And he was talking shit about Andre 3000. Now look here, man. Look. You can't. What? Andre?
I've never heard anyone have Andre 3000 hate. That is madness.
Yeah, and he was just basically like his complaint. Young Thug's complaint seemed to be that Andre was a little hard to reach, or he never worked with him. He never offered to work with him. And I guess as an example, he was like, if I wanted to call Elton John would answer his phone. But Andre, he has an assistant. Yeah, because people like you want to just call him up and work with him. Elton don't know.
All this did is prove to me that I need an assistant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect. Elton should get an assistant. I know Elton has an assistant. I mean, I rang him up at the bookstore, and he didn't even have his wallet on him. His friend did. It was Elton's wallet, but his friend was carrying it.
That's next level, y'all. I want that.
And Elton was just like, just put his hand out. And his friend's like, here you go. And there's his wallet. And he went through, and he had one of those membership cards, the whole thing.
Do you think Elton John has anything in his pockets?
No, I don't think so. I think he has a friend who carries what would be in his pockets.
Yo, that's rich.
Yeah, that is rich.
You have a physical manifestation of pockets.
Yeah, of your purse. Like, you know what I mean? Your whole tote bag is a person, and you can talk to them. So, but yeah, like, so just to even say those, and what's wild is he was just like, Young Thug was just like, Andre ain't never said anything good about me or anything like that. And there is video proof of Andre at Fife from A Tribe Called Quest at Fife's funeral talking about the young rappers who he admires. And he names Young Thug by name. He mentions Young Thug by name as someone he likes.
Freaking
and he
Young
likes
Thug.
his style.
Come on,
And
Young
also,
Thug.
and I mean, Young Thug, you think you're gonna walk around Atlanta in some wild outfit and think you're the first one? Like 3 Stacks wasn't just going to get gas at a BP with a turban and fucking football shoulder pad. Like, what do you like to gas up his car? Get out of here.
Oh,
so
man.
People are already looking at him sideways, like, all right, Thugger. And then he's coming out with this, just like, man, Jay-Z ain't got 30 songs that I'm like, yo,
Wildin'.
stop.
Jay-Z has had albums where like the whole album were singles. Like, and they played every song. And then the quota would have pissed me off. As a New Yorker, I thought I was gonna be more mad about the Jay-Z offense. I was mad about the Andre offense. He said I can't quote 2 Andre verses. Like, Andre has like incredibly famous verses. Like, are you insane?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get up out of here, Young Thug. Now, I mean, I hope you become a middle-aged and more reflective thug one day and become a better person.
I feel like he did something stupid once. He said something stupid once, and his mom was just like, "Boy, what is you doing?" So I'm like, "Where's she at?
We need her back. We need her back.
Who can tell him to get his shit together? Because you can't, bruh. You upset Atlanta, and now you're gonna upset New York by talking about that. What do you? Sis, I want someone to sit Young Thug down and explain to him how podcasts work and that we can hear you.
Oh man, it's like, yo, we just talking. What's these microphones?
Well, yeah, what's going on? When you gonna start recording? Oh, you did? Oh, we finished? Yeah.
True.
Like, we can hear you.
Oh man, Young Thug, you silly kid.
Okay, are you ready for me to unpack this?
Yeah,
this one.
I gotta see this.
Okay, so because this has been going on for like 3 or 4 days, and I was confused by it, but it has been at least a big story in whatever Twitter circle I seem to be stuck in, whatever level of hell of Twitter I'm on.
Yeah, this wasn't covered on all hip hop. I ain't catch this one.
Yeah, so when I didn't see it on the list, I was like, oh no, how does he not have this? But you know, different circles. So there's a young woman named Hilaria, I guess, Baldwin, and she is married to Alec Baldwin.
That is the main Baldwin.
The Alec Baldwin is the Baldwin we all know.
Okay.
The main Baldwin, yes, the breadwinning Baldwin, as it were. So they're married. They've got some kids. You know, everything's everything. So apparently, and I didn't know this because I kind of didn't. I stopped paying attention to Alec Baldwin's life quite some time ago. Apparently, she has been talking like this whole time, just carrying herself with a Spanish accent. And she says that she grew up in Spain.
Okay.
And that she's been pretending, I guess, to be a Spanish person this whole time. But it turns out she was born, well, her bio says that she was born in Spain and raised in Boston, Massachusetts. And that Spanish is her native language. And she speaks in the Spanish accent and wah, 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 wah. But she didn't, she is like straight up from Massachusetts. Like her mother, you know, like her mother taught at a college in Boston and doesn't have any sort of accent. Like,
wow.
Her dad, like, she's just a white girl from Boston. And there are all these people who are just like, what is happening? Like, I went to high school with her. She's just a generic white girl from Boston. But she, I guess maybe she has, I don't know what her job is now other than being Alec Baldwin's wife.
Right.
But yeah, she says that she moved to America when she was 19 to go to NYU, and from Spain.
Okay.
And it's like, no, you grew up in Boston. Like you, like, what's going on? So all of this is like somebody tweeted out basically, what happened was Amy Schumer reposted a picture that Mrs. Baldwin posted of her and her new son,
Okay.
3-month-old son. And it's her like in, I guess, lingerie, bra and panties, holding her little boy, and she is rail thin, very skinny. And Amy Schumer reposted it with her own jokey comment, just like, we want to wish you a happy holiday season. Enjoy it with whatever family members are talking to you this year. Okay.
Right.
So whatever, an Amy Schumer joke, fantastic. But then, I don't know if she goes by Hilaria or Hilaria, however you want to do it. She made like a video where she was just like, I don't, this whole thing of moms don't look like that. Some moms do. This mom does, and this, I'm included in the inclusivity, the body inclusivity, blah 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 blah. But the problem was she said that in her normal accent. So there was no Spanish accent like she's had in other interviews. So then someone tweeted out, you have to admire her commitment to her decade-long grift where she impersonates a Spanish person. And so, and then they did a whole thread of her speaking with this Spanish accent in different interviews and being somewhere and acting like she can't remember. She doesn't know the English word for cucumber. The whole thing. And people are like, well, I mean, that is a from Spain Spanish accent, but the area where she says she's from doesn't match the accent that she's using.
Right.
But whatever, it is based on a from Spain, and she may have family who lives there, but other people are just like, no, that bitch is from Boston. Like, it's been days and days of this.
You got her Red Sox games, B.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? And so it's just also that she people said that she was fully a white girl from Cambridge and did not have an accent.
Oh, that's perfect.
And that she used to go by a different name, Hillary. Hillary Haywood Thomas from the Cambridge School of Weston. Yeah, she didn't have an accent, and she's not Spanish.
The very notable Latino family, the Thompsons.
Yeah. So she made an Instagram Instagram video where she was like, there's some stuff that needs to be clarified.
Oh my God.
Okay. And that her words have been twisted in previous media appearances. You know how they can just add an accent to your words. Although she was born in Boston, she says, she is also a different kind of Bostonian, one who spent some of her childhood in Spain.
Yeah, that's called vacation.
Yeah, that's like, okay, if you have family in Spain and you go over there and you're with your family in Spain and you speak Spanish based on the family that you have in Spain, cool, great. And then you come back to America, but you don't really need the Spanish in America because you're just a white lady from Boston.
Right.
Great, no problem. That's fine. She's like, I grew up, there was a lot of back and forth my entire life, and I'm really lucky I grew up speaking the two languages. But when I get nervous or upset, I start to mix the two. Look here. I only speak English, unfortunately. But I know that there are many people in this country who
Mm-hmm.
speak more than one language. Uh, and like they just do it. You know what I mean? Like, what do you, how, if you get nervous, do you, what, what are you doing? Why? Why?
to,
Why would you do this? This is just the main question.
to quote
And
Jay-Z, I
then
gotta
last
say,
night I saw like this clip. I guess Alec Baldwin made like some sort of video clip where he's ranting and raving about stuff that upsets him, like Facebook and Twitter, and whether or not he knew Jeffrey Epstein.
oh my God.
All this kind of stuff. But then the only thing he says that has anything to do with his wife's accent is at the end of the video, he just says very quietly, when you love someone, you want to defend them. Consider the source. What? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I watched that over and
Oh
over,
my
and I was just
God.
like, what is this dude talking about? So, like, I don't know what's going on. And then just before I started recording, a friend sent me something that was like a rumor that was like, oh, Hillary heard that Alec Baldwin wanted to date Salma Hayek, but the sound was like, no, thank you. So she kind of started talking with a Spanish accent.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know if that's true or not. That is, I mean, all of this is just wild rumor shit, but also just like, I mean,
Ah,
okay,
yo,
what?
don't you love when white people snitch on themselves? It's
Mm.
magical. You got Alec Baldwin in here. He's supposed to be jumping into her defense, and he just starts like talking about all his other crimes. He's like,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't really know Jeffrey Epstein like that anyway.
yeah, I mean, I think that's what I think he just came on just to complain, just to be a crotchety old man, which is fine. That's what, IG stories is for. Absolutely. Go
Oh
on, do
my
your thing,
God.
Alec Baldwin. You've been crotchety for years. But like it's just wild to, I don't know. It just, why would you do that? You know what I mean? What's the benefit of pretending to have a Spanish accent?
I mean, if it's to get Alec Baldwin, I mean, I guess it was successful.
I guess it was. But then how much does she have to
Yeah, she got to do that
talk
all the
in
time.
all the time? That's why I'm like that. I don't think that's true, because that would be exhausting. They've been married for a while and they got kids.
Like,
But like,
like
but I mean, just imagine that. I can't
that's got to make.
look,
She's
and
the
maybe
greatest actress of all time. If she's done that shit, that's a.
yeah, exactly. But also, I mean, like, how hard is it to fool Alec Baldwin? I feel like all you got to do is just compliment him a few times and then just send him on his way. Put him in a suit, send him on his way.
and also he wanted to be fooled.
He wanted to be fooled.
Yeah, he wanted to know that he could date a foreign Spanish woman. So
Right.
yeah, maybe like it was a little easier than normal. You know what? I applaud you, Hillary. You gamed the system. You got the check. You got the bag. Secured it. Your kid's legacy. I'm a little concerned that you're gonna be making more Baldwins. We don't need them per se.
It's just such an odd, I mean, just to be found out because because Amy Schumer made a joke. You know what I mean? Amy Schumer made a joke using your picture, and granted, that probably was upsetting.
Oh my God.
But like, you have to remember. Look, all I'm saying is, if Amy Schumer uses your photo, everyone out there, if Amy Schumer uses your photo from Instagram to make a joke on her account, and you want to respond to that, make sure your accent's right. Remember what your accent, you know what I mean? Like, let's be consistent. What is the accent that you are known for? That should have been, there's just so much proof of you using this fake accent, and then to be upset, and you're like, that's when my Boston comes out. You know what I mean? Like, that's wild.
Yeah,
Like, you drop your ahs and shit because you're mad. It's just so.
That's the stereotype I've never heard of Latin women. Latin women get so tight and they start sounding like they from Boston. Not once.
Yeah, like that's, you know what I mean? Like commit to that. Let's change the game.
I have never dated that Latina. I'm waiting.
let's do that. Like, this was a chance, Hillary.
Yeah.
Or Hilaria, or whatever name you're going by.
Hilaria.
Like, whatever it is, this was a chance to really, like, change it up.
You could have stuck the landing here. You would have really sold people on this shit. You had your high school classmates like, you know what? Maybe she was from Spain. But no.
Maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean? But that would also mean that she was angry the whole time that she was in school because she never had the accent before. But like, I mean, let's not think of all the details. Let's just go, you're a big picture lady. You're a big picture idea woman. And then we'll take care of the details wherever we need to. But
my God.
I mean, that's just, it's just a lot. And also, I just like when, I have a soft spot for stories about women who are doing like some sort of scam and get found out, hoisted by their own petard on Instagram or some shit like that. I'm just like, oh boy.
What you gonna get busted for, Shalewa? What?
Hopefully nothing. I try not to let that. I mean, what will happen is like someone's just going to find my diary, although I haven't really written in it lately, but it'll just be like a list of grievances, or someone will I will accidentally get tipsy, which I don't know how that happens nowadays, but I will accidentally get drunk, and then someone will just ask me a question, and an hour later I'll just be like, and another thing, so maybe that's probably how you'll get the secrets out of me. But otherwise, I'm just going to let those things burn an ulcer in me.
There you go. Y'all heard it here first. Shalewa's roommate is in for a crazy New Year's party.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. This has been another War Report. My name is Gastor Almonte, kicking it with the homie Shalewa Sharpe. Really appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. Thank you, as always, for supporting the show. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to the show. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, we'd really appreciate if you liked and rated the show. We're getting great ratings. Appreciate all of you to do so. And also, if you guys see an interesting article that you like, hit us up on our DMs on Twitter, on Instagram. Link us to the article. We love to talk about it. We've done it before. We'll do it again because we need your help picking out articles that are actually important news instead of stuff about Little Pump and fake Spanish white women. Now, I mean, we got y'all for that.
Wait, now, fake Spanish white women, always important.
Yeah, true.
Always important.
We need that.
we gotta snuff them out. So
if there's more of them out there, send us those links. We're gonna talk about them exclusively. You know what I mean? We'll make a whole episode exposing them all one by one.
Oh, man.
It's all been a great time. Catch y'all next week. Happy New Year's to all of y'all. Thank you as always for supporting the show. Peace.